In what has been an undoubtedly banner day for PlayStation, PlayStation 5, Sony, PlayStation fans all around the world, I have to say the news continues to get absolutely better, and I think this is something that a lot of people are going to be talking about. Obviously, they already are talking about it, but it puts to bed, a lot of things that were kind of wrong and that people were wrong about, and I absolutely love this. And I also think that, it was very smart of Sony to sort of do this the way that they did it, especially coming off of Microsoft literally having one of the worst days ever in terms of their Xbox and their PR and things like that. So hopefully this is something that they learn from, because whatever experience you go through in life, the main thing that you got to do is learn from it so that, you can continue to grow as a company or whatever. That's the important thing in life. But let's get started. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you very much for checking it out. I really do appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel, and it means a lot to me personally. It really does. And if you're looking for a way to help out a small gaming channel such as myself, you know what? The best way to do that, a simple like. I swear, it's the easiest thing to do. All you got to do, look down, hit the like button. That honestly is tremendous support. I absolutely love that. If you really want to get serious about it, take a minute to consider subscribing, or you can hit the bell so you're notified of everything as soon as it comes out. I do daily content, folks. Every single day, some kind of gaming news from me, and that's a promise. I guarantee it. So even with that being said, shout out to all the old subscribers, new subscribers, everybody in between. You are so amazing. I am interacting with all of you guys on a daily basis on PSN, Xbox Live, on Twitter, and it has been fantastic. I really do appreciate everything you guys are doing. So, Sony, yeah, obviously Sony has a lot going for themselves, and Microsoft had a little bit of a blunder, but Sony sort of corrected something as well, and I think this says a lot. The funny thing is the stark contrast between Sony and Microsoft. Microsoft is going one direction, Sony is going forward. It seems like Microsoft is kind of stuck in neutral or even going backwards. And this was very interesting because obviously, as you guys know, I'm going to get into the PlayStation thing in a second, but I wanted to talk about this for a second. Microsoft says that it doesn't need Halo Infinite to be a launch title for the Xbox Series X to succeed. So obviously Halo Infinite was supposed to headline the launch lineup for the Xbox Series X and the S, but Microsoft delayed the game into 2021 due to a lot of different extenuating factors. It's clearly a big loss for the console's launch, as it would have marked the first time since the original Xbox that Halo was included as a launch title day and date. But now there was a new statement to the New York Times. Xbox spokesperson Cindy Walker downplayed the Halo Infinite delay. Walker said Microsoft, of course, would have wanted to have Halo ready for the launch, but despite the delay, she remains confident that there will be enough games available at launch to encourage people to buy in. And this is what she said. I want to keep in mind that this is one of the most dangerous lines of thought that I've ever heard or seen. She says, having Halo at our launch would have been tremendous, but we are not relying on massive exclusive titles to drive console adoption. Our players will have thousands of games from 4 generations of Xbox available to play on launch games. So, obviously, the thousands of games that Walker is referring to comes from backwards compatibility support from original Xbox, Xbox 360, and Xbox One games, but looking directly at first-party games, Microsoft only has one new title, which is Gears Tactics, which is a definitely not, that was a PC title, so it's definitely not something that a lot of people are going to go out and get an Xbox for. But the fact that they're saying that our players will have, thousands of games to play, meaning old titles, and that they're not relying on massive exclusive titles. So if they're not relying on massive exclusive titles to sell it, what's to really force them to make them at all for anybody, right? So this has been my major problem with Xbox for years now, is they seem to be fine with no massive AAA exclusives, and they seem to be fine launching a new console that way as well. I think that they realistically do not have the hardcore gamer in their mind anymore, and that is absolutely unfathomable. I cannot believe, and the fact that Microsoft as a company have people saying that exclusives are anti-consumer, exclusives are bad for gaming, when it's just the opposite. I mean, wherever you look, whether it's Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, HBO, Nintendo, Sony, exclusives push and drive everything forward. Without them, you basically have no reason to get these things, right? Because everything else is playable on everything. So with that being said, I found this to be incredibly interesting for the simple fact that, you know, I just can't believe that somebody would say that. Now, also, I kind of wanted to point this out because I thought this was very interesting as well. People were saying, according to a report, that Sony has cut the production of the PlayStation 5 hardware by 4 million units. This was an original report. We touched on this a little bit yesterday, but Sony has actually responded to it now. Sony Corporation had reduced its manufacturing plans for the PlayStation 5 by 4 million units due to complications with yields. This accounting, according to a source familiar with the matter, speaking to Bloomberg, which reports have been production issues with the upcoming console's custom designed system on chip. Production yields for the most part have been sunk as low as 50%, which means Sony is unable to produce a number of consoles it originally plans. Yields are said to be improving, but not yet stable. So basically what they were saying is 50% of what they were doing wasn't turning out good, and so they had to cut back. They were originally planning to launch 13 million units by March of next year, and they had to cut that back obviously by 4 million. Now the interesting thing was a lot of people were running with this as it being factual or whatever, but now we know and we have confirmation from Sony themselves that that's completely not the case, and this really kind of puts everybody in their place. Sony reached out with the following statement denying the Bloomberg report. This is what they said, and I quote, "While we do not release details related to manufacturing, the information provided by Bloomberg is false," the statement reads. "We have not changed the production number for PlayStation 5 since the start of mass production." So whatever they had as their original goal, they still have that. Now, whether that's 11 or 13 million or 10 million or whatever, they've not changed that goal at all since that time. So whatever they were going to have, they're going to have. And I think that that's something. I also covered how they're going to do the air shipments to make sure that people get stock, particularly in North America and things like that. But I'm sure that they're wanting to do the worldwide launch and make sure that anybody that wants one can get one. And I think that that's going to be a key component going forward with next generation. Obviously, Sony has a lot going for it. Big news today. Clearly, with this news as well, kind of putting to bed any kind of negativity around the PlayStation 5. Why this was out to begin with, I honestly couldn't begin to tell you, because it's one of those things where usually Sony isn't the one having to put up with this kind of stuff. It's almost like people are kind of planting these things into others as a reason why, as a reason to why possibly there shouldn't be exclusives or whatever, and I find that to be absolutely kind of ludicrous. Sony obviously does things a certain way. Microsoft is doing things a completely different way. And, most people, I feel like gamers in particular, are probably going to go with Sony because, they're still the ones that realistically believe in, the whole exclusive thing, and exclusives matter, and that's super important for people when they're going to buy a new platform. And I obviously feel a certain way about it. And I also feel like if you don't feel a certain way about it, is that a fanboy speaking, or is that, something else speaking? Because as far as I can tell, who's going to say no to more exclusives? Like, that's going to be something that I kind of think about, is honestly, who's going to say no to more exclusives or not wanting exclusives? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Without exclusives and these type of things, we literally have no sort of there's literally nothing pushing the industry forward. If each of these consoles played the exact same games, then 2 of the 3 would go out of business very quickly, and I would think that probably Sony would be the surviving console, because obviously they're a worldwide brand with the more powerful console that would be able to play stuff like the Nintendo stuff and even the Xbox stuff. So it's ridiculous to think that exclusives don't matter. They of course matter, and they matter long term as well. So people need to kind of get that thought out of their mind. And good on Sony for going out there and kind of getting rid of the FUD right away, because at the end of the day, that's one of the things that could help really hurt the outcome of this whole console thing, right? So obviously both Microsoft and Sony have their own kind of ideas about what they want to do and what they want to accomplish, but it just comes down to being able to do the best that they can do and get things out in a proper manner. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now, but both Microsoft and Sony are going to have to put their best foot forward and try to actually go out there and get things kind of going and deliver the games and stuff like that. And I know it's going to be tough, but at the end of the day, I just feel like people really need to kind of go out there and do it. And if you're a gamer, you got to support what these companies are doing in the first place, and I think that that's going to be hugely important as well. So at the end of the day, I think that is hugely important, and I would love your guys' thoughts and opinions on this down below. What did you think about Sony earlier? What do you think about this news confirming that there's been no change? They're going to have everything shipped out on time. Clearly, they're going to be using the air freights to get things here on time. Microsoft saying, hey, we don't need exclusives. People are going to buy our stuff anyway. I mean, it gets funnier and funnier every time I hear it, but, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Hit me up on Twitter at @the_Crapgamer, Xbox Live, MOH like Medal of Honor, Space Crapgamer, or PSN, just Crapgamer, and anybody that sends me a message. And I've been answering everything, especially I've been getting a lot on PSN, and I have the app installed and everything. I've been replying to everybody, so thank you very much. Please stay safe, happy, and healthy, everyone. I really mean that. Take a minute to consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. Like the video, share it out, tell your friends, rack them up. Game on, my friends. Game on. Have a fantastic night. Crapgamer, out.
Unscripted.